Hello, hello, hello. Today is Monday, the 20th of October, and we've got a bunch to run through today. I hope you had a good weekend. Got a bunch of stories backed up, and also in 35 minutes or 30 minutes, we're joined by Jason Levin, founder of Meme Lord Technologies, memelord.com. And we're chatting to him live. He just raised a bunch of cash for a meme product, which people thought was impossible, but he's done it. And we're going to spend the next hour running through all the news, product updates, and releases in the world of AI that you should be paying attention to help bridge the gap between what people think is possible with technology and what people know is possible with technology. Okay, so first story we actually have today is from the rundown. So let me just make sure I'm all selected the right screen. Okay, here we go. So Andre Karpathy went on the Dwarkesh podcast at the end of last week, or it got released over the weekend, and he poured some cold water on all the AI hype going around with AI agents. And here was the takeaway. By the way, great interview. You haven't listened to anything that Dwarkesh puts out. Stellar podcast. So highly recommend that. Here is the takeaway. It's written up by the rundown. Former OpenAI and Tesla researcher Andre Karpathy threw cold water on the AI agent hype during an interview with Dwarkesh Patel, projecting a decade-long timeline before autonomous AI systems can deliver on current promises. So everyone is hyping agents and hyping the fact that you can now not do any work at all anymore, and you can just handle for this work and it just gets done by agents. It's currently not the case. Andre Karpathy thinks it's not. He believes that industry messaging is overselling current agentic coding capabilities that output slop, saying the models aren't there yet. He says that agents just don't work due to fundamental gaps like insufficient intelligence, multimodal limitations, and lack of continual learning. There's obviously products out there which do kind of do the whole multimodal thing. There is obviously limitations. The continual learning thing is an issue, but yeah, Karpathy is not a fan. He also called reinforcement learning terrible and noise, but it looks good because everything we had before is much worse. Okay, so compared to the past, it's obviously a lot better, but not yet that. Elon challenged Karpathy on X to compete against Grok 5, though Karpathy said he'd rather collaborate with the model than compete against it. I think someone compared it to the Kasparov chess engine moment when he first lost. I don't want Karpathy to suffer the same fate. And here's why it matters. One of the most respected researchers in AI, Karpathy's words, holds significant weight and provide major technical reality checks to the year of AI agent hype. But despite the harsh critiques, it's also possible that systems that fail to impress a top mind are still massively productive for the other 99% users. Yeah, that is actually a very, very good point. Obviously, Andre Karpathy was at Tesla. He was involved with self-driving cars just through using cameras. So an agent that can do something like check your email and then perform some tasks in some other software off the back of it could be not important to him, but could actually change the life of your average person. The average person might think that's AGI. Obviously, Karpathy won't think so. But yeah, cold water currently thrown on agents by Andre, but highly advised going to Dwarkesh and listening to the whole episode. So if you're looking to get started with AI tools in general and to create some amazing content, photos and video, then look no further than Let's.ai. You can go create what you love with Let's. You've got all the best, latest image and video generation models. So go over to Let's.ai to give them a try. Incredible project here, by the way. This is from NOF1 Now, this project, they gave every single AI model, or a bunch of AI models, GPT-5, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Grok 4, DeepSeek, Qwen, and they give them $10,000 each to go and trade. Now, you can actually view this live. If you go over to this site here, you can see them trading live. So Alpha Arena is the first benchmark designed to measure AI's investing abilities. Each model is given $10,000 of real money in real markets with identical prompts and input data, and they are competing and trading against each other. Now, you can see the crazy spread that they have already got on from each other. Down at the bottom currently is Gemini 2.5, who's negative 3,300, down to a balance of 6,700. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have DeepSeek Chat v3.1, who is up to $13,600. So he's killing it at the moment. Now, this is obviously trading crypto. You've got the crypto price above here, BTC, ETH, Sol, BNB, Doge, etc. I'm not actually sure exactly what the limitation is of crypto. They can trade perpetuals, perps on hyperliquid. The objective is to maximize risk-adjusted returns. So you can actually just follow this live. Season 1 will run out for a few weeks before we roll out major updates to Season 2. So yeah, each AI must produce alpha, size trades, and time trades to manage risks. So you can actually track each one of the AI's positions here. You can see, let's see what DeepSeek has got on. So he's currently he's long everything currently. Long everything. Let's go down to Gemini 2.5 Pro. He's currently long everything, but I think he's flipped long recently. He was short and got killed. But yeah, you can go and check this out. I think it's a really interesting project to actually see how these AIs are going to perform in real time. And you can go and check them out at nof1.ai. This was an interesting reaction to that too, from Hamptonism. Says, again, I will reiterate this. DeepSeek was literally built by China's top quant firm and China's top quants. So it's no surprise that this is doing very well trading crypto. So Grok has been catching up to DeepSeek. It closed 0 trades and holding the same positions since the race started. Absolute balls of steel, but still, DeepSeek is leading the way. Story here from TechCrunch. It says, too burned out to travel. This new app fakes summer vacation photos for you, reaching peak AI slop. So if you don't have the resources or you're too burned out to travel, why not just fake the entire trip? This is a story from Sarah Perez at TechCrunch. And here is what it says. At the time when startup culture is back, when locked-in tech founders have embraced the 996 way of working, which is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, there is something dystopian about using an AI app to generate fake vacation photos of yourself. And yet, here we are. So product designer Lauren Del Rey, who recently joined Meta's Superintelligence Lab, launched a side project called Endless Summer, a photo booth app for iPhone that creates AI-generated vacation photos starring you in locations around the world. Okay, so this takes the fake private jet posts from wannabe influencers all the way up to a different level. Now, here is the demo. Here's the post. It made this little photo booth app called Endless Summer for when burnout hits and you need to manifest the soft life you deserve with fake vacation pics of you. First app, 100% made by me. Just released it to the App Store. Try it out. Let me see. I'll go here. We'll play it from here so we can actually get some sound. Make sure I get this turned on for you. 1 sec. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. One, that's insane. Look how fast it actually creates. This footage, Halloween Rager, image apes. So you say generate. The infinite slot feeds are coming. The AI only feeds are coming, but it seems like this is done quite well. I wonder who's going to be the main kind of audience for this. The slop will continue until morale improves. But yeah, we're going to see AI, fully AI generated social media. It's pretty much here already. But yeah, Saint Laurent de Rey, good follow. Nice project. Okay, story here. How Sam Altman played Hollywood. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. It's quite a long story. We're not going to read it all, but I've got some notes. Now, this is all to do with copyright, with private property, with Sora 2. Here is the TLDR. People are not happy, and probably, I'd say, rightly so. OpenAI, led by Sam Altman, caused a stir in Hollywood ahead of Sora 2 launch, reaching out to talent agencies and studios to discuss the app's capabilities and IP safeguards. Agencies found OpenAI's messaging. Agencies found the messaging inconsistent and sometimes misleading. Some were told an opt-in was needed for both likeness and IP, while others were informed differently. Now we actually know that it's not an opt-in at all. It's an opt-out. So they have everything, and you have to explicitly opt out of it, which is actually kind of crazy. So we know that OpenAI have scraped the entire internet. They have your likeness. They could probably reproduce your likeness if they wanted to. And if you are more famous, if you're in you're a Warner Brothers, they'll create all your characters, or Sora can generate your characters, and you have to opt out. So Sora 2 allows users to create video clips featuring a well-known movie, TV, and game properties. Studios must individually opt out of their characters, a process seen as an aggressive AI industry moves into entertainment. Major agencies like WME, CAA, and UTA express alarm and confusion over the IP protection and opt-out mechanisms. Yeah, these are lots of ongoing lawsuits as well. There's going to be some big fines issues, but I think probably OpenAI have reached kind of escape velocity with it too. So it might just be the cost of doing business. Hollywood is considering, the article describes Altman's strategy is calculated. OpenAI launched Sora 2 without robust protections and scrambled after complaints to implement halfway measures. Studios and agencies criticized the lack of formal opt-out. And note, burden now rests on right holders. Disney, in a strongly worded letter, asserted they shouldn't have to opt out to preserve copyright rights. So this is going to end up in court, and this is all around OpenAI's kind of asked forgiveness, not permission model, is compared to earlier tech industry moves that disrupted Hollywood, like the spread of internet piracy. Okay. To be fair, we know that all the internet has been scraped. It is pretty bad if you could create copyright characters. We've seen Mickey Mouse. We had Darth Vader doing all sorts of stuff. We've seen Stephen Hawking take over the timeline as an X Games competitor. We actually saw Martin Luther King's estate explicitly opt out and made OpenAI release an apology, explicitly saying you can now no longer create images with Martin Luther King in. So yeah, I don't know what you think about that. It's probably two sides of the coin for sure. We've got some Gen AI traffic stats updates. So takeaways here: ChatGPT continues to lose share. Perplexity exceeds the 2% threshold. And here we are. We can scroll down here. You can just see the generative AI traffic share. So here from 12 months ago, we've got OpenAI in blue, which is just trending slightly downwards over time, but still up to about 75% share, which is gargantuan. Then we have Gemini, and we have DeepSeek, which kind of took a big share and then kind of gave up a bit of a share. And then you have, where is Perplexity in green, kind of sneaking up and coming over the 2% mark. And then we have the growth in daily average visits to all tools slows. Okay, so we had this big burst of traffic, and now things seem to be slowing down over time. But obviously now we're actually seeing ChatGPT start sending a ton of traffic towards websites and actually becoming the number one referrer, actually catching up to Google in some well-indexed instances. Here's a post. It's from SimilarWeb. If you wanted to go on X at SimilarWeb, so you can actually see this data. Story from Facebook, from Meta, empowering parents, protecting teens, Meta's approach to AI safety. This is from Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, and Alexander Wang, chief AI officer. Key takeaways here: we've obviously seen more parental controls getting rolled out. OpenAI adding parental controls too. Says, as AI technology evolves, we're prioritizing teen safety because getting this right matters to us and to the families who use our platforms. This happened to OpenAI too, where people got really attached to 4.0, the model 4.0, and then they kind of default changed it to people having to chat to GPT-5. and it just kind of lost all that personality. But then there was a case where there was actually some harmful incidents. They discovered some data which says that a large proportion of these incidents, they actually previously had conversations with ChatGPT. So they're actually trying to mitigate that by passing this off to a more intelligent model with better safeguards in place. Looks like Meta are going to be trying to do the same. We're introducing simple new ways for parents to turn off their teens' access to one-on-one chats with AI characters and giving them more insights on how teens are interacting with AI. These new parental controls are in addition to the protections we already automatically apply to teen accounts. And we use AI technology to place suspected teens into these protections, even if they tell us their adults. Sorry. There's these things that I think OpenAI have too. I don't know if they're in place yet, where the AI will actually try and automatically detect the age. So if it thinks that they're speaking to a child, then they, in the background, put more safeguards in place and put more reporting in either to the parent's account or into OpenAI itself, and actually try and change how the model behaves to that person. So if you want to read the full blog post, you can, but you're going to be able to manage this inside of the Meta apps, and you can see which AIs they chat with. I don't know if these are user created or just Meta created, but there is more protections in place for Meta, which I think is a very good thing because these models are very addictive and they're only going to get better over time. Okay, we've got grounding available in Google Maps. This is now available on the Gemini API. And this means you can connect Gemini with up-to-date data from 250 places to build powerful geospatial aware apps. Okay, so rather than manually navigating Google Maps yourself, you can now hook it up with Gemini and you can ask questions. Let me just see if we can share this video to show you exactly how it works. See in the top left, you've got this Gemini prompt, and then you can ask it to do things, I guess. Oh, we've got sound. Bear with. Let me just knock this on for you. Okay, then we'll turn this up a notch.
Hi there. I'm a demo agent powered by grounding with Google Maps. To show you how it works, let's plan a quick afternoon itinerary together. First, what city are you thinking of?
Yeah, I'm going to be visiting Houston, Texas.
Great. Houston is a fantastic choice. Now, what kind of food are you in the mood for in Houston? If you don't know, ask me for some suggestions.
Yeah, I hear they have really good barbecue. Can you make some suggestions?
Please wait while I get that information. Here are the top 3 best barbecue restaurants in Houston, Texas. Pinkerton's Barbecue. This spot offers classic Texas-style brisket and ribs in a cozy setting with a full
And can
bar
you
and
tell
patio.
me what the vibe at the pit room is like?
I'll use grounding with Google Maps for that request. The pit room has a rustic casual vibe, offering Central Texas-style barbecue in a relaxed setting with a patio. It is known for its barbecue brisket and pork ribs,
That
and it's
sounds
a
really
good...
cool. Are they open on Fridays?
Give me a moment while I look into that. Yes, the pit room in Houston, Texas is open on Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. They serve Central Texas-style barbecue, tacos, desserts, beer, and wine. Maps Grounding uses community reviews to
Hey, that's
provide
really
details.
cool. I think I'm going to go there.
Perfect. So that's lunch at the pit room in Houston. This is just a glimpse of how grounding with Google Maps.
Okay, I guess it just goes on to explain what it can do. But yeah, this is good. I kind of think this whole concept, this voice combined with context, and you being able to interact with websites, apps, and products all just by talking to it is going to be a next kind of layer on the internet rather than like pointing, clicking, trying to find out what's what. You're probably just going to land on a site, land in the product, tab on the assistant, or the assistant's automatically going to tab on. You can speak to it, and this is going to navigate you through the site, use the app, kind of find out all the information you want. And this is kind of how that's going to work inside of Google Maps. It's available through the API now, so you can use the Gemini API to use grounding inside of this. So you can make geospatial aware AI apps. So you can actually create something like a GeoGuessr now with this, which is cool. You can try it and remix the demo app here too on AI Studio. documentations here, and I think it costs $25 per 1,000 grounding requests, if I am right. Let me just change the screen to the whole blog post if you want all the details on it. You can find all the details here on the Google blog, Grounding Now with Google Maps, now available on the Gemini API. And there's that whole demo that you can see, plus some getting started code too. Okay, this was the point I was saying. Another important tweet from Andrew Chen, on the partners at A16Z. He's on speedrun at the moment. Says, one of the changes I've made in my computer interaction has been to do a ton more voice dictation over the last few years. Now that new AI models have made the experience so much better, curious if others doing the same. These days, doing email is basically just sitting for a few hours a day talking to my computer. Same with dictating long social media posts. There is always some typos, but nothing that can't be quickly fixed. Or in some cases, if it's just texting or more casual conversation, I just let it roll with the typos. I figure people knows what's up. I agree. I use Whisperflow all the time. In fact, I use Whisperflow kind of most of the time to do things, because I'll try and type something out. I will then figure out that it's actually very slow and I'm making spelling mistakes, for example. And then I'm like, why don't I just hold my hotkey down and talk? It instantly transcribes it. And the plus side of doing this too is you then are able to type exactly how you speak, because it's just your words being transcribed. A lot of people, I know I did it, you would type something completely differently than how you'd say it with natural language, and then people will read it, but wow, this sounds weird. This doesn't sound like you at all. You're using your LinkedIn voice when this is not how you speak. So that's an upside, another upside of actually using a dictation tool. I recommend Whisperflow, but you can use something like Monologue by Every, or you can use something like Super Whisper too. There's a bunch of good ones. But yeah, Whisperflow is the one I am currently using. Okay, we've got a couple more minutes before we're joined by Jason. Let me just bring up the final one. If you're actually looking to build a voice app and you're looking to maybe build it cross-platform too, I advise going to expo.dev. They give you everything you need to build apps across platform. They're a full stack React Native framework built for the enterprise. So they come with everything built in out of the box. They've even got this map example on their homepage here too. So maybe you can add in a voice layer to that. But they are a proud supporter of this program. Go to expo.dev. Okay, we've got a quick piece of news, actually. We've been hearing about AI in education as one of the big talking points recently. We're seeing Alpha School do amazing things, but the South Korean government recently spent 1.2 trillion won, $850 million, on developing AI textbooks for schools, but the national program has been rolled back after 4 months amid allegations of inaccurate text, concerns about privacy, and increased workloads on staff and pupils. So that is not ideal. We've actually seen law cases where lawyers, for instance, have been using AI and creating fake citations, fake references, fake citations, things that never happened, been fined tens of thousands of dollars for doing so. Seems like AI-powered textbook programs are suffering the same fate. So we can all use AI to create tons of content. Is that content accurate? When it needs to be accurate, if it's not to the tune of a few $100 million, that is actually far, far from ideal. So that's the South Korea scrapping its AI textbook program. We've covered that one. Here is another really interesting graph. There's a post from John Wake. It says major news sites are seeing huge drops in traffic. So on the left side, we have the top 50. This is the top 50 news sites, percentage change in traffic. So 0, up 20, up 40, up 60, and then down 20, down 40, down 60. Takeaway here is that we have 46 of the top 50 sites are seeing lower traffic this year. Up top, shout out to Substack, though, up 47%. CNBC managing to scrape a plus 2% too. Down at the bottom, Forbes.com down a massive 52%. CNN down 34%. Fox, BBC, MSN.com, New York Times also down 7% too. So we all kind of know what's going on there. But yeah, major news sites are seeing huge drops in traffic. Another tool release, actually, shout out to DeepSeek 2. Not only can they trade very well with crypto, it seems like, but they can actually now OCR, like extract information from documents really well too. And apparently, according to Ray Fernando, this is the JPEG moment for AI. Optical compression doesn't just make context cheaper, it makes AI memory architectures viable. Training data bottlenecks solved. This can do 200,000 pages in one day with one GPU, 33 million pages a day on 20 nodes. Just goes into a bit of detail with it. But now this makes real-time AI economically viable. So you want to do live document analysis, streaming OCR. So if you're kind of live trying to pull out information from documents, now you can use DeepSeek OCR to do so. Now, these were previously too expensive, not anymore. So if you're looking for app ideas, you want to do things like real-time translation with visual context, now you can do it with DeepSeek OCR. Now, if you are in the AI world or want to be in the AI world and you want to maybe change careers, go to TLHQ, get a better resume, faster search, and 6x the number of interviews with this completely free to sign up toolkit from Teal. Help you simplify your job search and land your next job 58% faster with Teal's suite of career tools. So if you're looking to get ahead, go over there. They're a great platform to use. Update from FAL. Reeve just launched and the early results are in. Spatially intelligence generation. You can create multi-image layouts in just one shot. Here is an example that I love. Consistent architectural designs laid out in one generation. So this stuff was actually previously pretty tricky to do because they'd always kind of lose consistency through them. But now with Reeve, you can do it. And it's actually live on FAL now. Here's some other examples. If you're looking to create a cartoon storybook with consistent characters, you can do that. And here is multiple views of a 1967 Ford Mustang. But yeah, if you go to FAL, they've got basically got a load of really good models. You can access them through the interface or by API too. This was interesting. Ethan Mollick, AI video models may not be complete world models, but they are oddly capable of fairly sophisticated, if flawed, simulations of novel situations. VO 3.1, this is 3 toy ships, one made of iron and the other of wood, and one out of loosely packaged sugar or packed sugar, fall into a pool of water. So the AI needs to kind of know how each of these ships are going to react by being dropped into the water. Now, let's roll back maybe like a year or even a few months. Most of the models actually can't get this right because they aren't grounded. They haven't got a good grounding in the understanding of physics. So the AI needs to know, okay, this is a wood boat. This is likely going to float. The sugar is likely going to dissolve a bit, but kind of floats just under the water a bit. And then the big heavy metal one is actually going to plummet. Now, we saw a big funding round for General Intuition the other day. I think it was over the weekend, if not on Friday, of $133.7 million. Now, they're building a generalized world model. Now, the reason why they got all this funding is they had a big data set from Metal TV where they had all of this gaming data, this gaming video data, which then they can train an AI model that can now understand the world because it had all of this information about how game designers created characters to navigate different worlds, and then they understood physics a bit better, and they can create world models that had this sort of knowledge baked in. But yeah, that's how these ships are going to react, and looks like VO3 actually do a really good job on that. So that's pretty cool. Post here from Brian, who's an amazing follower on X. He says, as AI content floods the web, projected to compromise 90% of online text by 2030. 92% of it will be regurgitated data sourced from Wikipedia and Reddit both will in turn become 90% AI generated. Is this clear now? We have trillions of words of premium offline data untouched. If you haven't been following Brian's story, basically he has been trying to get his hands on for many, many years a lot of offline AI training data. So books, newspapers, VHS tapes, and then digitizing them and then using all of this offline data, stuff that maybe can't be edited in Wikipedia, to train an AI. So this is a long, long time that he's been doing this, many, many years. And now he sees the case where this actually might become good very, very soon. So we will see how this goes. Bear with me. We're just trying to get Jason to join. Let me see if I can share another link with him. One moment. Yeah, I advise going and checking out some of Brian's posts because he is doing some excellent stuff. Let me just pause. Let me just stop sharing this a sec. And we'll get Jason in. Okay, let's start running into a little bit of a firewall issue. Old school. Okay, probably let's see if you can join in a second, but I wanted to quickly tell you about another one of our sponsors, and that is Firecrawl.dev. Firecrawl are, I think, probably best in class scraper, searcher, mapper, crawler. If you're building an AI app and you want an AI, for instance, to go to a website, pull down some information and bring it back to you in a variety of different ways, then you can use Firecrawl.dev. If you want to turn your website into LLM ready data, pull all the information, turn it into a text file so other agents can crawl it effectively, use Firecrawl too. You can use it at Firecrawl.dev. We use it for all of our projects over here too. Okay, let's try and get the main man in. Okay, he's trying. He might be joining us. He might be joining us in a second. There was another tool that I wanted to actually share with you today, and that is a really actual simple way to build AI apps. So if you are maybe, I don't know, a medium level of technicality, you're slightly technical, you know kind of what you're talking about, and you maybe had an idea that you wanted to build a chat GPT like app, then WeWeb is a good option. So now you can actually build chat GPT like style apps natively in WeWeb with the new AI chat element. And now here is what makes it good. You can stream AI responses live. You can group user and assistant messages automatically, render markdown, inline code, and syntax highlighted blocks, allow users to share files, images, PDFs, and CSVs. Now, this was kind of previously reserved for more technical users. You had to kind of get a like an SDK or a starter project from GitHub and then try and spin it up with Cursor. There is more complicated ways to do it, but WeWeb are trying to go kind of no code style and actually let you do this with a GUI. So you can now create AI dashboards, support bots, or your own custom GPT. And here is the demo, which you can watch for a second. But yeah, if you're a big WeWeb fan, you can give that a try. this is pretty good for if you are a company and you want to try out new products. Maybe you didn't want to build ones from scratch in like a Lovable or a Bolt or a Replit. You can go to WeWeb, but also probably a good time to shout out another one of the sponsors, and that is upskill your teams with AI using 9x. If you want to take your team from a non-AI focused company without the AI skills that you need to keep on growing and succeeding in the AI age, you want to upskill them, go to 9x.com. They have trained over 5,000 business professionals from companies like Make, Teleclinic, Project A, Gigs, and Recap, and they are excellent. The workshops, their webinars are insanely good and packed full of value for you. So while we wait for Jason, I thought we'd give him a little bit of a shout out. So Jason actually built a company called Meme Lord Technologies. So he builds software for meme marketing and memetic warfare, taking silly memes deadly seriously. And we're actually trying to get him on. He's having a bit of an issue. But yeah, this is the Meme Lord himself. Bear with us for a couple of minutes. If he he's having a stinker. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to join. There's no way in for him. The meme lord is locked out. We'll have to probably have to rearrange and get him back on. But let me just share one more tool with you for today. And this is going to be this. Okay, createanything.com. Anything was one of the tools that built AI, made it easy for people to build AI powered apps without kind of needing to know too much. So this has inbuilt integrations into it. So if you say, I wanted to create a photo booth app, let's say I've seen it in the App Store, I've got an idea, I've got a twist that I want to put on it, you can actually use anything to create that because the integrations are already built in. So say you wanted to build the ChatGPT like app, or you wanted to connect a couple of tools together, you can do that and they already have it built in. So there's 500,000 builders creating with anything. And here are some of the apps. You can make updates in English, you can plug in web search, you can create images, all directly within anything. I think you've got payments too built in across web and mobile. You can actually build full mobile apps within anything, and web dashboards like this, mobile apps like this, both into iOS and the Play Store. And you can use anything to create everything. So yeah, that's it. I think we will actually call it early. I don't think we've actually got anything. Yeah, the AWS outage has stumped the meme lord himself. The keyboard is the new battlefield. AWS took down the guest on this day. But yeah, that's it. We can actually wrap up there. I will see you on the same time tomorrow, 2 p.m. CET. We're going to be covering the latest 24 hours worth of AI product news, updates, releases, features, tech, and we'll get Jason back on soon. Have a good day. Have a good night. Catch you tomorrow.